Tonight, ABC 57 News investigates the first ever nuclear reset in the U.S., now underway at the Palisades Nuclear Power Plant in Covert Township, Michigan.
The owner, Holtec, is trying to restart a 5-decade-old reactor that was originally supposed to be pumping out power again by the end of 2025, but is still a work in progress right now.
ABC 57's Annie Kate took an exclusive tour inside the facility to find out why that restart is being held up. Annie?
Yeah, Brian, Brianna, now this is the second time ABC 57 has been allowed inside the Palisades Nuclear Power Plant ahead of this historic restart. And I tried to get as close as possible to the nuclear reactor itself. Now, spoiler, I only got to the security gate. Still, I wanted to know why the restart has been delayed and the impact of federal pressure to speed up the nuclear power build-out. And I got to ask those questions in these exclusive interviews.
Behind us right now is the main turbine generator. This is what you'd find in any steam-powered plant, whether you're talking fossil or nuclear. The whole concept is using a fuel source to create heat that generates steam that spins a turbine, and that spinning turbine generates electricity. So that's what's in front of us now.
This is the turbine deck at the Palisades Nuclear Power Plant.
This is like old school, using steam to spin a wheel, right? It's like, in our case, to move a turbine.
Covered in scaffolding, getting prepped for restart.
How rare is it for someone who doesn't work in this building to be able to be in this room and see these turbines?
I mean, this is really an industry first. So to see the scale of the work that we're doing really is unprecedented in the history of nuclear power.
That's Nick Culp.
Mind if we cut through, guys?
Senior Manager of Government Affairs and Communications, giving us an exclusive tour of Holtec Palisades, where work's underway for the plant to come back online.
So running down the middle here is our turbine. The 4 tanks you see on the side are our MSRs. They're our moisture separator and reheaters, and we use that to purify the steam that goes in.
The project, though, delayed past the timeline it previously gave ABC 57 in July 2025, after Holtec received its final approvals from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
And I'll just say, literally, this project at the outset was the project that could not happen, should not happen.
During our on-site visit, I got to sit down exclusively with Site Vice President Mike Lenerick.
I was told that the plant will be up and operational by the end of 2025. Of course, it's now January 2026. So my main question is what happened to push back that timeline, and what is the new timeline?
Yeah, so for us, we set that time frame back in literally the fall of 2022. So just as the project was being planned, devised, and as a team, our Holtec team, we decided to stick with that target, and it's our early target.
I tried to find out just how soon the plant is expected to open.
Is there now a projected start date? Will it be Q1, Q2 of this year? Do you have a new date in mind, or?
I'll just be honest with you. That is our senior levels of our Holtec organization. They manage that date.
Lenerick cares less about the when, he says, and more about the job well done.
Everything we do, again, we're protecting the plant from the people and protecting the people from the plant.
They say the delay doesn't undermine the history being made.
We went from roughly 200 employees at the time of shutdown back in 2022. We've rehired and rebuilt our team to more than 600 at this point. And then 2/3 of that entire team are people who had worked at Palisades previously.
Thanks to a $1.5 billion grant from the Department of Energy under the Biden administration. But support for nuclear power proving bipartisan.
There's been a mandate from the Trump administration that the United States needs to reassert itself as the global leader in nuclear power.
President Trump's Department of Energy also awarding Palisades $400 million for the expansion planned after the restart. In fact, the Trump administration wants to see the country's first small modular reactors, or SMRs, by July of this year. And while plans are in the works nationwide, Holtec Palisades still believes it will be the first company to build SMRs with its Mission 2030 partnership with Hyundai.
The operations team, they control the operation of the plant. This is the team that's in charge of everything that goes on here. All other departments basically work to support operations.
And so this would be like the highest of security clearances to...
Yeah, it takes a lot to get in here.
And yet, we got to take a rare sneak peek.
Permission to enter? All right, thank you.
of the control room.
We're in this high security room. We see a lot of buttons and levers and lights, and what all goes on in this room?
Well, we're in the main control room of the plant. This is the brain center of Palisades. Right now behind us are licensed plant operators, engineers, and mechanics who are going through the processes and procedures now necessary to bring this room back to life and to put Palisades back online.
All workers in the control room, no matter what level of experience, Culp tells me, must train 1 week every 5 weeks, their entire career. The nuclear reactor is in this containment building. We weren't allowed in there, but got as close as we could, right up to the security gate. You can see the reactor on these monitors. Notice the personal protective equipment workers are wearing, and this screen monitoring their radiation levels.
The gentlemen over here that are badging in, they're getting real-time monitors, and then there's an alarm set on there too to remind them, like, hey, you're reaching your point, you need to get out for the day. And then these portals here, those are just body monitors, and it just does a radiological body count when you come out.
Despite not knowing an official start date, we do know the plant received nuclear fuel late last year.
So those fuel assemblies, they have been, again, received, inspected, and we have them stored in our spent fuel pool.
Once used every 18 months or so, spent nuclear fuel is stored in canisters on site. I'm told all the waste currently contained from the facility's 50-year history could take up less than the 5-yard line on a football field. Now, Holtec leaders say it's the home stretch before they flip that switch.
In fact, the whole core is ready for deployment back to the reactor vessel where it will do its mission and provide, I'll say, that safe, clean energy for like over 800,000 homes.
Now, there are those who remain anti-nuclear. The groups Beyond Nuclear and Don't Waste Michigan filing this federal lawsuit as an attempt to stop the restart. Now, I'm told that the suit hasn't halted any work at Palisades and that it's not the reason for the delay, but otherwise, Holtec leaders can't comment on the ongoing litigation. However, these same environmental groups also rang alarm bells after Holtec sent a relief request to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, reporting some welding work doesn't meet certain licensing code standards, but asking the NRC to let them proceed with their alternate workarounds. Now, Nick Culp tells me this is all part of the process to make sure the plant is ready not only for restart, but for decades of operations to come. Now, still, the public was allowed to give input and ask questions at the virtual NRC meeting today regarding the relief request. The NRC must still rule on the pending request, and we'll follow that as it unfolds. Now, live in studio, I'm Annie Kate, ABC 57 News.